Hello everyone! Thank you for visiting our channel. Have you ever experienced such life stories? Emma and William had been married for 3 years. In the beginning, William had a successful business, and his wife didn't have to work. She simply enjoyed life. But then, a crisis hit, and the business stopped generating income. William had no choice but to take up a job as an employee. Eventually, Emma had to find work too. For Emma, this change was a heavy blow. She had married a promising entrepreneur and never expected such difficult times to come. The woman wasn't used to working 5 days a week, especially in the mornings, so she soon started complaining about fatigue and dissatisfaction with her job. Later, she began hinting to her husband about quitting. "We have debts, Emma. You can't just quit and leave," her husband would tell her. After such responses, she usually fell silent, realizing that her husband was right and things would eventually improve. But one evening, when the wife came home utterly exhausted, she had a meltdown. "I'm trying, Emma. Just hold on a little longer. I'll soon get a promotion, and besides, my colleague is offering me a partnership in his business." Her husband tried to reassure her. "How long can I wait? I've spent the whole past year hoping for things to change, but nothing happens." The woman persisted. "I'm tired of working for both of us while you do nothing. I'm fed up. I'm leaving this stupid office." During these unfounded accusations, the man's patience ran out. "Do whatever you want," he said, and went into another room. William felt like his wife had reached her boiling point and was about to quit. However, some time passed, and instead of quitting, she decided to stay at her job after all. It seemed that the wife had started taking the situation more lightly. She managed to calm down, the husband thought. Over time, the conflict subsided and the old grievances disappeared. On the contrary, the woman blossomed and became more diligent in taking care of herself. She started staying late at work more often, saying that she too aimed for a promotion. She completed more tasks than her colleagues. The husband even began to feel proud of his wife. She approached their shared problems with such enthusiasm, and it was true teamwork. Emma continued to receive her salary and buy groceries for the household. Only now, her perpetually discontented face was replaced by a calm expression. One day, the husband was on a bus heading home. He was looking out the window, lost in thought, when suddenly someone called out to him. Turning to the sound, he saw Charlotte. She worked with his wife. Charlotte greeted William, and a conversation ensued. "So, how's Emma doing? Has she found something, or is she in no hurry?" Charlotte asked with interest. "What do you mean?" The man didn't understand the question. What was she supposed to find? "A job, of course." "Well, why are you surprised?" "She quit recently and said the office wasn't for her at all," Charlotte replied. William's jaw dropped after those words. If his wife had quit, then where was she spending her entire day, and where was she getting money from? Seeing that Charlotte began to suspect something after his prolonged silence, he pretended to have been lost in thought and didn't immediately grasp what the woman was asking. Inside, he decided that starting from today, he would vigilantly monitor the situation. William never thought he would have to resort to such measures, but he proceeded to install a wiretap on his wife's phone. And as it turned out, it wasn't in vain. Over the next couple of days, he learned a lot. From Emma's phone conversations, he understood that during the day, she spent time with friends or visited spas. In the evenings, she met with her wealthy lover, whom she had found from who knows where. That's why she had been looking so radiant lately. Apparently, he was much older than Emma, earned well, and could afford to keep her for their evening rendezvous. But Emma herself had grand plans for this man. She told her friend that she was doing everything possible to make her life with him a fairy tale. Why? Because he was divorced, and she dreamed that he would propose to her. The wife believed that her dream would soon become a reality. It was just a matter of time. In anticipation of the proposal, she didn't bring up the topic of divorce with her husband. She didn't want to be left with nothing, so she simply waited for the moment to switch to a different horse. The husband was furious. He had tried and done everything for the well-being of their family, while his wife was simply waiting for a wealthier man to whisk her away. From Emma's phone conversations with this lover of hers, he realized that the man had no intention of developing a serious relationship with her. He was perfectly content with the current arrangement. And then William had an idea of how to punish his unfaithful wife. He decided to show her the reckless situation she had put herself in. From their conversations, he understood that the lover would soon have to travel to another city for business. Since this would involve frequent correspondence, rather than phone calls, it provided an opportunity for an interesting game. William bought a new SIM card. One day, when his wife was at her fictional job, he sent her an SMS from the new number. He introduced himself as her lover, whose name he had memorized from the phone conversations he had listened to, and said that he would use this number during his trip. William tried to repeat the same phrases that this man used when talking to his wife, and she believed it. The husband purposely created pauses, citing meetings, and wrote that he missed her and wanted to meet. As the evening approached, when Emma was supposed to return home, he wrote that he could no longer bear their separation and would soon be back in the city. And finally, he sent her the long-awaited message, "Leave your husband, move in with me. I'll pick you up at 9 o'clock." Emma's joy knew no bounds. She entered the apartment with such confidence and audacity that her husband could barely hold back his laughter. While she spoke of William's inadequacy as a man, carefully packing her belongings into a large suitcase, he decided to play along. "Are you leaving? But where to?" he asked. "To a better life, where I won't experience everything I have with you," she arrogantly replied. Then, glancing at the clock and realizing it was almost 9, she started to leave the house. Holding back his laughter, the husband took the keys to the apartment from her and locked the door behind her. Then he peeked through the window and watched as she stood by the entrance, waiting for her lover. "So, how much longer do you have to wait for your beloved old man?" he sarcastically shouted, standing at the window. "Stay out of this," she replied and demonstratively began to call someone. To her surprise, the ringtone sounded from the apartment where her husband was. He picked up the phone, wished her all the best, and hung up. Then he burst into laughter and closed the window. Later, Emma realized everything and had dialed her lover's old number. He became furious that she was so impolite as to distract him from work. She hurried to apologize and then took a taxi to her friend's place. When the lover returned to the city, she, greatly distressed by her unstable situation, brought up the topic of cohabitation, but he perceived it as pressure and decided that Emma was demanding too much from him. As a result, they broke up. She ended up divorced, homeless, and jobless. That's how the story unfolded. Share your thoughts in the comments about this situation and the behavior of the spouses. What would you do if you were in the husband's shoes? And thank you for listening to the story until the end. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and be sure to like this video. It will greatly help promote the channel. Take care and have a wonderful day.